It's a new year, which means that we have new Mercury retrogrades. Mercury goes retrograde about 3 times a year, and in 2022, it's happening quickly. It's happening in January. So mid-January, on January 14th, Mercury is going retrograde, and it does this for about 3 weeks until February 4th, and then it stations direct and it passes that pesky little shadow period on February 24th. So basically, from now, December 30th is about when Mercury entered its shadow period, which if you don't know what a shadow period is, it's basically when Mercury is in the zodiacal space that it's going to be going backwards in. Basically, what we need to know is up until January 14th, whatever comes up for you, especially when it comes to your communication, to your local community, to the way that you mentally process things, whatever's coming up for you in this time regarding those themes, we're kind of going to have to go back and reassess and look at it again from January 14th until February 4th. And that's when it's going to be going backwards. And it moves forward on February 4th until February 24th, which is when it's again in that shadow period. So Mercury is going to be hitting the same spots 3 times over. What's really interesting about this Mercury retrograde is that it's really essentially going between the planets Saturn and Pluto. And Saturn is this planet of putting in hard work. It asks us to be mature and to grow the hell up. A lot of people know about their Saturn return as a time of serious maturity, of really growing up and establishing something for themselves. So that's sort of what Mercury and Saturn are doing. It's asking you to think and reflect on what you really want to show for yourself, like showing your work. And then it moves back towards Pluto and applies into a conjunction with Pluto, which basically Pluto is the outermost planet, right? So it sort of affects us on a personal level a little bit less because it's thinking really big picture, but we still all have a natal Pluto in our chart, so we are still a little affected by Pluto anyway. And so Pluto rules the ultimate truth and deepest healing, and sometimes it can be very destructive in order to build something better. And so Mercury coming into the planet Pluto is then saying that you need to really assess what needs to be broken down from the inside so that you can create something better next time. Mercury Pluto tends to maybe have us thinking and speaking really sharply, not really thinking about the impact that some of our harsh words may have on others, but also to the self. So negative self-talk can be really prominent during this time. And Mercury Saturn sort of has that too. You need validation. Everybody needs validation, but Mercury Saturn like limits what you tell yourself, and it contains and it creates boundaries for where you think your mind will go or can go. So we are going to do a tarot reading for this Mercury in retrograde, how it's going to affect you. Mercury is in the sign of Aquarius, and then it moves back into the sign of Capricorn. And so I have some piles here. We're gonna get into the reading, but first I just want to let you know that the giveaway is still going on. Once I hit 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to be announcing 3 winners. All you have to do is subscribe to this channel, follow me on Instagram if you have an Instagram account, and then comment down below that you did those things so that I know you are entered and that you want to win a prize. Lastly, if you're still watching the intro, which I know a lot of people don't, but I am doing an event on January 8th. It's a donation-based event, so whatever you can afford. We're basically going to go over 2022 and what the energy of this year is giving us on a global, more universal level, as well as a personal level. So we'll be going through the numerology of 2022 and your specific numerology, how it's going to affect you. And then we're also going to pick our teachers for the year. Out of the major arcana in the tarot, we're going to find out what our major lessons are for the year, and also what our major rewards are. So if you're interested in that, you can go check that out on my website, harveymountainalchemy.com, and you can follow me on Instagram at mimis.me for daily astrology updates. All right, let's get into the reading.
All right, so pile number 1, you have got this owl charm candle. Pile number 2, you've got this little tree charm candle. And pile 3, you've got this moon charm candle.
All right, pile 1, I've got your candle here. This one has fluorite, tiger's eye, and blue calcite. And and an owl charm. So what I would think that this candle is really, really good for is for implementing an order and a routine for like self-acceptance, self-love, self-validation, as well as just like bringing kindness to the table. Fluorite is a great crystal for getting organized. I always think of it as like the Virgo of the crystals. And then tiger's eye I always think of as Taurus. So that self-worth, that self-value, seeing like that beauty that you do hold within yourself. and then blue calcite, which is just this really gentle, kind crystal that brings simplicity and gentility. So that is the candle that you chose. All right, let's see what the major theme for this Mercury retrograde is for you. There we go. So first off, we've got the Seven of Pentacles. We've got two sevens here. So we've got the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands, and the Six of Cups. This Mercury retrograde almost seems like it's time for you to like switch the way that you're perceiving work in a way, like how much work you're putting in to somebody else's company versus what you're putting in towards your own life. Almost like implementing a self-care routine and like implementing a routine so that you can reflect on where you're placing your value. 7 is a very personal number. It's all about your personal path and your personal beliefs. And we've got Pentacles and Wands here. So what you're doing versus how you're feeling, and not feeling in the emotional sense, but feeling in the body sense. Where are you really putting your worth, your value? And is it being valued the way that it should be? Is it being valued fairly? This Six of Cups, I feel like you're really putting yourself out there a lot. If not emotionally, then physically. You're really like toiling, or you are putting a lot of effort, and maybe to somebody else. I almost feel like there's some people out there who need to start their own business, or that they really need to like see that what they're doing on the side is more important. So if there are some of you out there who have like a side hustle, it's a really good idea for you to maybe make that your main hustle. Because I think giving away all of your energy to other people, or to a boss, or to a relationship that isn't really healthy, it's just going to continue exhausting you, and they're just going to keep pulling it out of you until you have none left for yourself. So this Mercury retrograde seems to be one of like kind of prioritizing yourself in an effort to progress more healthily in the future. Because Mercury is in Aquarius when it starts going retrograde, you know, we're thinking these out of the box ways. We're thinking about how we want to progress. We're thinking about the future, our goals, and also like how we want to contribute to humanity. And then as it goes to Capricorn, how we want to contribute to society. So it's sort of seeing how you contribute to this world that you're living in, and how you want to be contributing. One thing I would say though, Mercury retrograde isn't a great time to make any decisions or to take decisive action. Mercury retrograde is a time to reflect. And so these are sort of things that you need to be reflecting on is, where am I contributing my value? Is my value being valued fairly? And am I exhausted at the end of the day when I'm done giving everybody else my energy? So that's what I see for that. I want to look at how the Mercury Saturn will affect you. So Saturn is a planet of restriction. And we try and paint a pretty picture and be like, well, it's really restricting, but if you put in the work, like you really gain something. And it's true. Saturn is a very karmic planet. So what you put out is what you get back in. But at the same time, Mercury, Saturn, Saturn kind of rules anxiety, and it's in Aquarius, which can be very forward thinking and maybe a little bit of an overthinker. And then it also rules depression too. You know, Neptune is the main ruler of depression, but Saturn is there too. And so the way that affects our mental health is going to be really important. And we can't just like sugarcoat that all the time. So let's see what Saturn Mercury is going to be providing for you. Okay, so I feel like there's going to be some clarity of mind, or maybe a search for clarity of mind, that maybe you won't get it just yet, but I think you'll be, and you've got this Page of Wands too. So both of these are beginners, right? Both of these are beginnings and like the start of a new thing. And so I think for you, you have to mentally reflect and mentally choose almost that you do want something new, that you're tired giving away all of this energy, giving away all of yourself and not really gaining anything from it. So I think Mercury Saturn is going to be really important for you to like really assess, like, is this the responsible thing? Am I being responsible for my well-being? Or am I just kind of going day in, day out, serving somebody else? Or serving something else, or serving something that I don't truly believe in, right? That's very Aquarian, is like serving your true beliefs, your humanitarian beliefs, and your hope for progress. So this Saturn Mercury, I think, and that's right at the beginning and right at the end, like February 24th time, is going to be a time of mental clarity, a time of like really wanting to start something new. I think that's going to be really important for you, that you might be the only one restricting yourself here, that it's quite obvious to others that yes, you do have to start this new thing. And that's good that you're not going to start it quite yet. But during this Mercury retrograde, you have to really give it thought and really give it reflection, honest reflection. Because once it comes around to Pluto, it's you can't avoid being honest. So speaking of which, we're going to go Mercury Pluto. Okay, we've got this Three of Cups that just decided to jump out. Here we go. The Hanged Man and the Six of Cups. Okay. So relationships around right at the tail end of this retrograde, so around February 4th and the week prior, we've got this Three of Cups, the Six of Cups, and the Hanged Man. So I think relationships will be put on a hold. I think there are some, I see friendships, not so much romantic relationships, because this Three of Cups is like this sisterhood card, right? This womanhood celebration of each other, empowerment of your friends. And then the Six of Cups to me is a very nostalgic card. So it's, I think, almost childhood friends or childlike friends that you spend time with, and you get to sort of heal your inner child or be your own child with them. I just would expect not a lot of progress in that realm. I wouldn't say that like there's going to be friend breakups and that you are, you know, it's over for everyone. Maybe for some, that's sort of what that's indicating for you. But this Hanged Man is just saying like not much is going to come of it. Not much is going to come of the friendship realm. You know, although Aquarius does rule friends, Saturn or Capricorn, not so much. So around the end, February 4th and a little bit before, I think Mercury Pluto might bring your attention to your friend groups and to your loved ones, and maybe even to your childhood memories, that maybe you'll be brought back to, you know, those really quintessential formative days that you spent with people that, you know, give you that nostalgic sense. I would say that, you know, just watch your tongue around this time, because yeah, definitely watch your tongue around the people that you know, spend time with, or your friends, or your social group. I just think the Hanged Man is saying like, don't do anything too rash. Just take it slow. So around that February 4th time, early Feb, just be patient with the people you surround yourself with. Try and act out of kindness. Mercury Pluto can be really, really sharp-tongued, especially in Capricorn, which can present itself as quite cold. So I would just be careful of that. So that is what that Mercury Pluto is bringing. Let's see overall, like what shift you're going to be embodying come the end of this whole retrograde. Okay, we got the Six of Cups again. Wow. I think that you could do some real inner child work here. And some of it could be this, this is the third Six of Cups you've gotten. Wow. Wow, Six of Cups is really important for you. I didn't register it with this Six of Cups because it's a little different looking. It's not quite as obvious as the traditional one. But every single deck that I've pulled out, you've gotten the Six of Cups from. And so what shift will you be embodying? I think there's something really large about really getting in touch with that inner child. I think inner child healing could be really important too. Make sure that you are in therapy if you need to be processing certain traumas around this time. Mercury Pluto not only is sharp-tongued, but it's also very sharp-witted, sharp thinking, but also like it really gets into the depth of everything, right? Pluto is ruled by Scorpio. It's all about that intensity, that need to dive really deep. And so Mercury, the planet of how you process things mentally, or how you think, how you communicate, how you kind of use your words with others and with yourself, it's with this planet of Pluto. So really, this could be a time of diving really deep into your childhood, into those like more nostalgic areas, and maybe even idealizing a little bit. So be careful that you're not idealizing or romanticizing things that you should be calling trauma. You know, sometimes we don't realize it's trauma until a therapist tells us. So just make sure you're not idealizing those traumatic days, or those what feel like nostalgic days or more familiar days. Six of Cups is really, really important for that inner child, that little child within you. So I would almost say, like, envision yourself, do a meditation. I love this meditation, but do a meditation and envision your little self sitting right in front of you, and listen to him or her and talk to him or her. Tell them what they need to hear, or what they didn't get to hear, and let them tell you what they feel they didn't get listened to, right? There's a part of us that, we never got listened to or validated in some way as a kid. And so doing that inner child work, I think, would be a really good idea. Mercury retrograde is all about sitting in, inner reflection, reassessment, all of the redo, react, in a safe way, in a healthy way. So really do that within yourself. Really get in the head and in the body when it comes to that inner child and healing what they need to be healed. All right, so I hope that was helpful for you. This is really beautiful. And think about that Six of Cups. If you read tarot for yourself, put that Six of Cups up, because it's going to be really important for you over the next 6 weeks, essentially, or 9 weeks, really. All right, thank you very much. I will see you guys next time. Bye. Hello, pile 2. I have got your candle with the tree charms because it's scented pine. It's got green calcite, smoky quartz, and amethyst. So it's a really good candle for the grounding of the heart, where maybe we have our hearts out here so much up in the air. Maybe we don't feel very grounded and centered. Bringing that heart, connecting it to the root, really being able to breathe and center yourself. So let's see what Mercury retrograde, what the themes are for you, what you're dealing with throughout this Mercury retrograde. There we go. There's one. There's another. We got the Six of Pentacles and the Page of Pentacles, so definitely money, and the Three of Pentacles. All right. So money is really at the forefront. Exchange of value, I think almost like starting a plan, creating a plan. I definitely see something new happening just because the Page is a novice, right? The Page is the teenager of the court cards. So basically they don't know a lot, but they are willing to try things out. They're excited. They feel the opportunity with them. I see money happening here. I see money planning happening here. I almost see like investment is going to be really important. And that could be like investment in a big corporate bank, because Capricorn is great for that. But I also see just an investment of time and energy. So where you invest your time, where you invest your energy, where you invest your money. I will say Mercury retrograde is not a good time to move forward with the actions and make true decisions and decisive actions, but it is a good time to reflect on what you want to do later on. And so for you, this Mercury retrograde, I think there's going to be a big focus on money and on money planning. And, Pentacles isn't always money, but these guys, they all look like they're holding some coin. Like this Three of Pentacles, they're all creating something, they're planning something, they're working together on it. What's great about this, and I didn't notice it for a long time, but it looks like a traffic light, right? So stop, go, who knows, right? And Mercury retrograde is sort of that who knows. You're not completely stopped. You're not completely moving forward, taking action, but you're sort of in this limbo spot of, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to think about what I want to do later. And so there is something new that's coming up, especially work-wise, or finance-wise, or your values, where you're placing your value, right? So investment doesn't have to be money. It can also be your time and energy, like I already said. But there's also this exchange here. And so I do think that work is being focused on for this Mercury retrograde. I do think that there's like a shift that needs to happen in the workplace, or maybe just that it's your way of, I just think that money planning is going to be really important for you. That's really all that I'm seeing here. So I'm going to move forward just because this hasn't been super eye-opening, but I think moving forward there will be some connections made. All right. So Mercury, Saturn. What's going on with us for that? Three of Pentacles again. Okay, so let me think about the Three of Pentacles for a minute. Yeah, I really think that you're kind of going on a route of like saving money, where maybe your money management hasn't been very organized, hasn't been very good. What comes in also goes out. You spend as much as you take in. And I think you can't avoid that anymore, right? The Two of Swords is sort of saying like, we have been in denial for some time. And so I guess now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the blindfold off, I'm going to stop defending myself with these swords, and I'm just going to save the money. So for some of you, it might actually be the exact opposite, where you've been spending money where you have been saving so much money up, and now you need to sort of shift the way that you see your money. Instead of resource guarding, you move forward and you actually spend your money. You actually invest it in something. You put it somewhere valuable rather than just sitting in the bank. Letting it be something that brings you value, and it might not be bringing you more money. Like I said, you don't have to be investing in a large bank account, but to invest that money in something that you love and something that you can see every day. Basically, I'm telling you to sort of shift the way you think about money and spend it, for half of you, and for the other half, don't spend your money. You have to start saving. So you will know which half you are, hopefully. But Three of Pentacles has popped up twice so far. So I do think it's kind of important to see money management, money planning as being the focal point for this Mercury retrograde for you. Saturn conjunct Mercury, which is what these three cards is about, sort of restricts how much we allow ourselves to think about something, or it gives our thoughts boundaries. And so it's hard for us to think outside of the box. And because it's in the sign of Aquarius that really wants to think outside of the box, we might feel restless and we might feel anxious around the first week that it's going retrograde and the week before. So from January 7th to January 21st, we're sort of feeling the effects of Mercury Saturn. Lightly so on the tail ends, but it's there. So we might feel a little restless, a little anxious because we really want to think outside of the box, but for some reason our creativity isn't there. We're feeling sort of blocked in some way. So for you, I think it is in the realm of money planning that maybe it's just really difficult for you to sit down and think about it and bring order to the situation. Maybe you're emotionally really invested in your money. Maybe you are not invested at all in your money, right? It's kind of the extremes. You could be one or the other. So let's see what Mercury Pluto has for you. So Pluto is this planet of just the most intense truth that there is. Self-honesty, hidden information, hidden truth, deep transformation. And Mercury there is the way that we're processing things. And so it's giving us the opportunity to really dive deep and to really reflect in a way that is very all-intensive. And to be able to get to the source of what we're feeling, or to get to the source of almost our psyche and the way that we think about things. Mercury Pluto gives us the chance to really sort of dive deep into that. So Mercury Pluto for you, we've got the Six of Swords, the Five of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. So another pages are coming up today. I almost feel like near the end of this Mercury retrograde, you're going to feel like you're drowning a little bit and that you can't get yourself out of it. So the Six of Swords here, I mean, she sort of looks like she could be refreshed, but I always get a sort of scared sense from this card that there's so much more below the surface that other people can't see, that you're going to be putting on this brave face, right? This Page of Swords also, you're putting on a brave face for others. So other people will think you're doing fine. But there's a lot more under the surface there, right? You feel overwhelmed and submerged. And so to be able to take yourself out of that feeling is going to be really important around the end of that Mercury retrograde. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be almost like I just want to sit in this yucky feeling. I just want to feel a little bit depressed. I just want to feel a little bit upset and anxious. I'm just going to sit in it. And I think you're going to be given the opportunity to sort of fight that mental urge to just stick in the emotion, right? This Page of Swords is willing to fight. But if she's being drowned, or if she's being submerged in all of this emotion and all of this self-pity almost, then it's going to be much harder for her to fight it. There's a lot of resistance against what she's trying to do. So I think to set something in place beforehand so that you know you can get yourself out of that more emotional state is going to be really important. I would just be careful, and I want you to write it down, write it in your planner or in your calendar. You know, do something to cheer me up around this time, right? And that's going to be nearing February 4th. So early Feb is going to be important for you to get yourself out of a rut, get yourself out of whatever sort of depression or anxiety or sadness or melancholy even is the feeling that I'm getting, like on my shoulders. I just feel like melancholy. So write that in your planner to like do something fun that weekend to get yourself out of that funk is going to be really important. And it's almost like a test. It's a test to see if you can and to see if you're willing to kind of make yourself feel better. So we're going to look at overall theme of what is, or I guess we already kind of looked at the overall theme because it was all about pentacles, but what I do want to look at is like what shift you're going to be embodying by the end of this Mercury retrograde. Wow. Okay. Gratitude is going to be really important for you. We've got the 10 of Pentacles and we've got the 10 of Cups. These are the two cards that I call the happy family cards. This 10 of Cups is emotional fulfillment, emotional gratitude, and this 10 of Pentacles is financial fulfillment or, you know, value fulfillment, stability, fulfillment in the body, right? Just like physically fulfilled and satisfied with where your life is right now. And between those two, we got the 8 of Swords. So I think that you are seeking, and that's where maybe some idealization comes forward, that you are seeking this idea of perfection. You are seeking this happy family, perfect, satisfied, cookie cutter vision of what you want your life to look like right now. And a lot of what this Mercury retrograde is going to do for you is kind of push you to take the blindfolds off and to push you to take the rose-tinted glasses off, right? To see things for what they really are. Rather than what you really desire them to be, just to be able to get a grip on reality and where you are right now, and not saying like things aren't perfect for you, like you need to see that. It's more that you need to see what you do have and being grateful for what you really do have during this time, especially in these moments. I get it. Like I get the wanting to just sit in the sadness and in the melancholy. I've done it before. I think a lot of people do that, especially during this like historical time that we're going through. It can be really hard to pull ourselves out of it. But this is the test for you to pull yourself out of it, to take yourself out of this emotional place, to really be able to mentally process the reality of what you do have, what you can be grateful for, and not to be upset about what you don't have, that poverty mentality or that lack mentality that even if I have all of this, I'm still missing, you know, I'm still missing this, the 6 of Pentacles, you know. Be grateful for the 10 of Cups. Be grateful for what you do have. Be grateful for the laughs that you get to have throughout the year even. I feel like this Mercury retrograde for you specifically, this pile 2, it feels like it's going to be a really big indicator of how the rest of your year is going to go. So it's important for you to find the gratitude. It might be important for you to sink into the melancholy for a moment so that then you can pull yourself out. I think something you also have to be careful of is putting on this brave face, is saying, actually, I'm super strong. I feel fine. There's nothing wrong with me. Not that there's something wrong with you for feeling melancholy, but more just show others what you're going through. Talk to others, speak to those that make you feel seen and make you feel heard. Those people that make you feel like they value your existence in their life. Speak to them, let them know when you are struggling, when you're having sort of more mental difficulties throughout this time. That's really what this Mercury retrograde is asking of you, so that you can set a foundation of value and a foundation of realistic expectations. So that is what I have got for you this week. I hope that's helpful. I know it's a little bit all over the place. I feel like that we started off with like money, finances, the way you manage and plan on money. And then it's like you should spend, but also you need to save. And also you're going to be really emotional. So I think there's a lot that's going to be going on for you around this Mercury retrograde. Look at where the fixed signs are for you, like Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, and Leo. And then also the cardinal signs, because we do have it going into Capricorn. So that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. It's a little test for me. because I feel like this is going to be affecting you pretty intensely, and you're going to have like a solid foundation of people that you trust can help you through this. All right, I'm sending you a lot of love. I hope you're going to do really, really well. I know you're going to do really well, and I will see you next time. Bye. Hello, pile 3. I've got your candle here. It is the little moon charm with a morganite and sodalite and selenite. So all of the ite crystals. This candle is honestly very, very calming to me, but it's also about knowing what you want to say and communicating effectively, communicating not only to others, but to yourself, communicating with openness and honesty. That's really what I feel from this candle right now anyway. Maybe that's just how it's speaking to me right now. But sodalite tends to make me feel that way. All right, so let's check out the themes of what Mercury retrograde is sort of doing for you, how it's affecting you, what area of life. This guy wants to come out. This guy. One more, buddy. There we go. Okay. Starting out with the 7 of Wands, the 6 of Wands, and the Sun. Okay. The 6 of Wands and the Sun card are very similar energies to me. It's all about look at me. I think that the Sun is ruled by Leo, and then the 6 of Wands to me always screams Leo too. I almost think that it's more inwardly though, because we do have the 7 of Wands here. 7 is all about the personal journey that you're going through or your personal path. It's about inner reflection, and Wands is about taking action. The 7 of Wands sometimes is all about setting boundaries with other people, or maybe having to push through some boundaries, push through the obstacles that are set out in front of you. So I feel like there are some obstacles for you personally that relate to how you view yourself and how you let yourself be seen. I feel in the shoulders that you need to like open up your shoulders and like present yourself to other people and be like, I am here, hello. You know, like really push yourself onto others. And I think it's really uncomfortable for you to do that, which I get. I'm also very uncomfortable pushing myself out onto others sometimes. But that's a lesson that kind of we all need to learn, of being proud of yourself and being your own or being your biggest advocate, right? Because at the bare minimum, you could be your only advocate. So speaking up for yourself is going to be really important, I think, for this Mercury retrograde. That being said, Mercury retrogrades aren't a good time for taking decisive action, making decisions, or like moving forward with anything concrete just yet. They're more about sitting within and like reflecting on the actions that you do take right now, or that you want to take in the future, or that you have taken in the past. It's about realizing and reflecting and redoing. So not to say that you need to take action or make decisions during the Mercury retrograde, but I think it's important for you to reflect on the obstacles that you're perceiving that are, and I mean, not that they're not real. I think some of them could be real, but some of them could be in the mind, you know, that you are mentally blocking your potential. And so to really present yourself to other people as confident and as strong, as really beautiful, right? That Leo of just like shining and being friendly, gregarious. I think that's going to be really important for you. Social life is going to be important for you during this Mercury retrograde. Look at her, even here, she's not fighting, which 7 of Wands typically is sort of like, I'm fighting the wands that are coming up at me. Instead, she's just holding her wand and waving. She's like, hey, what's going on? You know, she's not fighting. She's not very defensive. She's just saying, hello, I'm here. I see that you are trying to attack me and I'm not too worried about it. So even if it's not external, like people who are attacking you or creating really difficult obstacles for you, could be that you're creating really difficult obstacles for yourself. And, you know, this yellow is really popping out to me, this in the 7 of Wands and in the Sun. This yellow, which is the solar plexus, that's your power center. Take your power back. Take that control of self back. You are the only one who has power over yourself. And so to sit in that power, to embody that power, really self-empowerment is at the forefront here for you today. Or during Mercury retrograde, I should say. All right, so let's look at the Saturn Mercury. I want to see maybe how Saturn could be restricting the way that you're mentally processing this, or that maybe you are receiving some karmic benefits. All right, we've got King of Pentacles, just as I said benefits. Hello. Oh, geez. Oh, God. Okay, so I'm going to take these two. So we got the King of Pentacles that came first. So, I mean, he is literally like sitting in his lair, assessing his coin, assessing his value. He's got his dog there, who's a primal, loyal friend. So I think that you can be your own primal, loyal friend, or I think that there's somebody out there who's, you know, one of your friends, your best friend or something. They are there, they are by your side through this journey, and they might be really integral for you to realize just how valuable you are, or to help you really sit in your power there. You've got the Five of Swords. I think it's going to be mentally challenging, this Saturn Mercury. I think maybe some anxiety could come up for you during this time, which is January 14th until about like January 20th, really, I think, is when Mercury Saturn is going to still be active. So Saturn might be restricting the way that you think. It's going to be restricting the way that we progress forward, or the way that we like think outside of the box, right? We might feel a little restless, a little anxious, because we won't be able to think outside of the box. So I just think that's going to be a little bit amplified for you, that you might feel a little anxious, a little restless, and a little bit like, I can't do this. I just want to sort of hermit myself. And we've got the Fool. This is a major start for you. This is a major source of a beginning of a pattern for you. It's exciting. It's fun. It's all about trusting the process. Which can be a little bit difficult if you don't feel in control, or you don't feel like you are the powerful God that you are. And so, yeah, there's just this huge new beginning that's happening, and there's literally amethyst in this card. So it's very much like her connection to her higher self, and also very grounding, right? Amethyst brings us connected up here, but also rooted down here. So that Saturn Mercury might be really prevalent for you to sit back, assess the value, assess where you're placing your value, assess maybe where you have felt devalued, maybe some anxiety, maybe some restlessness, but know that this is like an opportunity to begin a new cycle for you. All right, so let's check out Mercury Pluto. Pluto is the planet of very intense truth, of hidden meaning, of transformation, of deep growth. Yeah, and we got Judgment, which is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto, or rules Pluto. So it's going to be really important for you to be completely honest with yourself around this time. Yeah, we've got the Hermit at the bottom too. It's kind of shining up at me. Looking at yourself, self-reflection is really important. I almost hear that there's someone that's like almost placing the blame on other people for what's going on in their life. And while their actions may have caused or created the consequences that you are now suffering, it's almost like it's a karmic pattern that you're going through. And so yes, physically and on this tangible earth plane, it is their fault that you are suffering the consequences of their actions. However, there's something about you that is like attracting this energy, and I'm not trying to like victim blame if there's anybody who's like being abused. Obviously it is their fault and it has nothing to do with you. It's just them projecting their own anger. But I digress. It's really important for you to assess the situation and assess where you attract certain energies, and if you don't want those energies, how to break that cycle. It's going to be really important for you to be completely honest with yourself. I think it's going to be important for you to almost stay home, be comfortable, be safe, make yourself feel safe and nurtured so that you don't feel uncomfortable when you're assessing or reflecting. Mercury Pluto is going to be quite intense for you. It's Scorpio and it's Virgo, so it's like really looking at the details, fine-tuning what you are attracting, fine-tuning what you are repelling, fine-tuning what you really want, and fine-tuning how you show yourself, right? That Sun and that Six of Wands is all about, look at me. Look at how powerful I am. Look at how beautiful I am. And so you have to embody that. And right now, I think Mercury Pluto is you wanting to hide as much as possible And I think there's some goodness in that. I think there's some health in that, especially as it's retrograde. But once it goes direct, I want you to take off this blanket and I want you to fill in the color here and really show yourself, show who you are, show your shine and your power and your divinity, basically. So one more card for what shift you are embodying by the end of this Mercury retrograde period. Oh my gosh, okay. We've got the Moon, the Four of Wands, and the Magician. Oh, I love this. The Moon here, being in touch with your emotion, being in touch with your patterns and your habits and the cycles that maybe you allow to continue on and on and on. Being really accepting of them, right? Not being emotionally invested in how can I let this happen? Like, I'm such a dirtbag. How dare I allow this cycle to continue on? Except this is the journey that I'm on, and it has been difficult to allow this pattern to go on forever. And now I am finally cutting off the pattern. Allow yourself to celebrate in that. The Four of Wands is a rejoice. It's a look at the work that I've done, right? Because 4 is like the 4 walls. It's a stability. It's a foundation. It's strong. So being able to celebrate that work that you are doing. And the Magician here, you have all of this power. You literally have all of this magic within you to do this work. And there's a deep, deep well of beauty that is about to come out. If only you enlighten it, if only you allow it to really come out of you. I think the throat chakra is really important. I think communicating is going to be really, really, really enlightened during this time. It's going to be important for you to speak up for yourself, which is so interesting. You picked this candle and I was like, yes, communication is going to be really important for you. So that is the shift that you are embodying by the end of this Mercury retrograde. You got the Moon, you got the Magician, and then you also have other majors. You got the Sun, the Fool, the Hermit, Judgment. I mean, you are really going through it for this Mercury retrograde in the best way possible. I think that you have all the capabilities you need. The only one that I'm worried about here is this 5 of Swords, maybe a moment of doubt, a lapse in judgment. So just be sure, even though it's paired with this King of Pentacles, be sure that you really see what is of value around this time. Make sure that you check everything 3 times during this Mercury retrograde, right? Nothing is set in stone for this time. So that is your reading for this Mercury retrograde. I hope that was helpful. I really look forward to how this changes your life, changes the course of, the path that you're on right now. So let me know in the comments below what you're going through, because this sounds like a really beautiful shift. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye.